Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, you guys, to the social network and reality kingdom where we put the real in reality or whatever,
Yeah.
period.
Period.
The reality kingdom has been in the feeds, but we're returning to scheduled programming, okay? This is a good civilized area. Um, but yes, today I'm not joined by Lee. Lee flopped. Womp womp. But
Mhm.
instead I'm joined with two icons themselves, Drake
Oh,
and Dia. How are you both feeling today?
I'm doing
feeling good.
good.
Feeling good.
The
You
lead
know.
dropped, and they said, "Who's the next two biggest names we got?" And then they
Yeah.
said no, and I showed up. So yeah.
Yeah. Just I beg to be on here, so
Yeah. No, I'm excited to have you both on. It's the first time, hopefully not the last. We'll see after how this goes, but uh, we're here to talk about the social game of it all. That's the whole point of social network. We will give our opinions on the players, obviously. We can talk about gameplay, but we're really focused here on the social game. So, this is where we're at currently. Since we last podcasted, Jason has been evicted. I mean, what did you guys think of Jason's social game?
Actually, his social game was actually pretty good. He was just so messy strategically that people were like, "Can we still trust him? Can we still like him?" But from like a pure social perspective, I thought he had like a pretty okay social game.
um, his social game kind of ebbed and flowed because when it first started out, it was messy. Because I actually tailor his strategy to his whatever. Because his strategy is social game. That's the type of player he is, right? He's a social player. I think early on it was really messy. People liked him, but then stuff started to get back, and he did have some missteps. I think towards the middle is when he really figured found his group, and I think once he found his group, he was fine. But the problem was the outside group had already had I don't know an opinion on him. So I would say his social game was okay.
Mm. It's
I don't.
interesting
Yeah.
because to me, I feel like his social game, I have to kind of differentiate it from like people actually liking Jason. I think oh god, I just saw a comment. I do think that Jason was well liked by people, but I don't think he really had the social game because it got ruined instantly by Drew. I really do think Drew is the person who killed Jason's social game. Despite Jason having an alliance with him, because he ran into Angela and said everything. And Angela's in quite a powerful position in the house already. And so I think it became that people liked Jason, but felt as though he was kind of like, for lack of a better word, parasite. And
Ooh,
so he kind
Yeah.
of got, or a pariah, I guess. They treated him like a pariah, which is
yeah.
unfortunate because
He had like no credibility in the game because like everything he ever said would get back out. So like
Yeah.
everyone knew who he was lying to, and like it was always everybody somehow. Even if Drew doesn't rat it out, I remember Drew and Melody are like, "That's weird that he like did all that, like looking at the camera and like lying about the cookies and like the demo. That's still weird when people hear it. It makes you lose credibility no matter what. And the fact that that information
Hmm.
got out publicly, I don't think you can recover from that unless you win comps to gain power. Uh,
wow. This is we're gonna compare every week to week. So last week, this is kind of how we had the layout of the land with the showmances and the duos and the things of that nature. And as we go into this week, there are a few things that I flagged. So red is usually out of game, meaning the
Hmm.
contestant has been eliminated. So Jason and Lyric are no longer a duo. But we have a few oranges in terms of things that I think took a negative toll in terms of the duo itself, and then yellow is kind of like impacted but not really. So let's go into, I guess, the first part of it, um which is, I want to talk about Lyric. So last we left Lyric, it was giving very much Lyrics Love Island. We were trying to find her Rome replacement despite her telling us she loves him in the DR still. But in the game, she's looking for a man. And funny enough, I think she kind of pulled a Kenzie, if you watch Love Island, where she didn't pick one, she has multiple options. So we see that her and Yash form like a final two agreement. Chuck and Kamu go out of their way to defend her. And we're kind of seeing the impacts of that because unfortunately, it seems that she's prioritizing some of these men and losing some of her relationships with her other duos, both Melody and Mallory. So, do you think that Lyric is trading up, or is she making a sad mistake?
She's making a mistake, in my opinion.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't.
because like where I think she's making a mistake is she's alienating her group, which is okay. That happens in Big Brother. You try to make what's best for you, but stuff is already getting back where everybody knows that you're basically being Jason in a sense that you're throwing people under the bus any chance you get. Um, Especially that group to distance yourself, and then the women are starting to be like fair or unfair, upset that you're specifically Haley spending so much time with Chuck and Kamal, like two people that you know what I mean? I think it doesn't, I think it really doesn't give off the loyalty that you would need that Melody and Mallory will want from her. And Haley and Angela are never really going to endear themselves to her. So I think her lifeline is these men. And once they start to go, what happens then? Because your entire game can't be flirting. That's just my viewpoint.
Yeah, I think part of it is, in my opinion, I don't think she ever truly valued Melody and Mallory as allies. She valued Jason and Rome. And then when Jason and Rome were
Mm.
gone, Melody and Mallory thought, okay, she's going to come back to us now. They're gone. It's us three. And then she didn't do that. She went and found other people. And they're probably like, hey, what the hell? Like, what the hell, guys? Like, you're supposed to be with us. You go find new people. And the people she went to, Chuck and Kamo, I think it's an important skill in their brother knowing when to jump ship and be fluid. And if you need to jump onto a powerhouse like game for a second and to try to reposition yourself, that's all fair. I don't think Chuck or Kamu are actually in real power. It's the icons
No,
who are truly in that power.
yeah,
But Chuck and Kamu both think they hold power in the game. And the more Chuck and Kamu push to protect her, the real power players are like, oh, she's dangerous. She's actually good at this. She's making connections. That's something we need to look at. I think the one real ally she has is Yash. And I think that is like a very good relationship for her. Like they're probably on the left side too, the more like sound strategic presences who like understand what's going on in the game. But I think they have the same problem where people are starting to view them as that and they're becoming threatening.
I think it's interesting because Lyric does have another duo in the display that we have here, which is D. And I think D, to your point, is a power player. And so we actively see D go out of her way to protect Lyric, despite Lyric not winning a competition aside from Veto. She hasn't actually done anything for D's game. So it's really
yeah.
interesting that she's defended her in that way, but that never took away from Melody and Mallory. So to your point about trading up, from going from Rome and Jason to now Chuck and Kamu, if you will, Yash on the side, I don't think it's actually that great because to be honest, the more Kamu specifically has been pushing to protect Lyric, the more people have been like, whoa, 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 maybe we shouldn't keep her. And I think Lyric
Yeah.
is very lucky that D is still defending her despite Kamu pushing for her. He's actually being more harm than good. Whereas to your point, Melody and Mallory are potentially going to go over Lyric beyond Kamu. So while yes, they aren't necessarily in powerful positions, again, all it takes is one HOH for things to change. And I think her going out of her way to throw both Melody and Mallory under the bus to me is taking it a step too far. And she I think is facing the repercussions and losing her relationships with Melody and Mallory.
Yeah. Also, to like I'm bringing an update like just happened right now. Angela and Dee are talking about how Common needs to go soon. Maybe we need to weaken him. If they're gonna weaken him this week, Lyric's the one on the block. So she's in real danger because of this relationship with him. So
So I don't know if she really did trade it up, to be honest. If
Mhm.
anything, I think she is putting herself more in front of people in terms of being a target because they're like, whoa, like she's able to have Calm on side, have Chuck on side, like she's looking more socially connected than Melody and Mallory. And I think ultimately, once Dee decides, you know what, I'm actually not into this relationship because Lyric genuinely, in my opinion, isn't doing anything to better Dee's game. I could see her going very quickly, which to me shows that she might have connections, but they're not
Mm.
strong.
Yeah.
Which is the problem. You can have as many relationships as you want, but if they're not strong, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything about it.
Yeah.
I do have a question for y'all. Do you think like perception is a part of social game, like how you like hold your perception? 'Cause I think one of the most beneficial things you can have in the game is if your perception is loyal but flexible, the people will value you so much more because she's
Mhm.
not seen as like this really loyal player. Even the whole Rome situation where she like told them backdoor Rome, use a veto on me. I'm
Yeah.
breaking up with Rome. She doesn't have this perception as someone who's loyal, unlike Mallory, who seems like ride or die for her girls. People like Mallory and respect that more about her, but she also has this sense of flexibility where it's like if Mallory wants to work with us or sees that she needs to, she still will, but she's not gonna throw her girls under the bus, unlike Lyric.
I mean, Dee, I don't know if you want to go first here, but
Um.
um
y- Yeah, I agree. I think that is a part of, and she's shown that she's flexible in the sense that like she can find a way to gain a relationship. Like she does that well socially. She does that well, but strategically, I agree. She's not looked at as loyal because even before, like you said, even before Rome left, she was distancing herself, and it's the right thing to do. But it was the way she did it, and basically
mm,
threw her on the bus. And then every time there's an HOH and they have a one on one, she does everything she can to throw Lala, Mallory, Melody, hell Taylor, all of them under a bus when people already group you guys together in a sense. So like if you're willing to do that from a standpoint how I would look at it, if you're willing to throw them under a bus just to get advanced, then say for instance I do let you in and we get down on our luck, what's gonna happen to me when someone comes to you and be like, well yeah, D can go. So I don't know.
Now, I to answer your initial question, do I think perception is a part of social game? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you're trying to make people perceive you in a way that is to your advantage, right? And how do you do that? Obviously, you can do that by saying that prove showing people that you're strong and that you can win competitions. But loyalty in this house is worth a lot more than just competition wins because at the end
Hmm.
of the day, you need to vote to evict someone out and you want to make sure that when it comes down to it that people are going to vote with you. And I think what's interesting here, and someone put it in the chat here, I genuinely think her voting out Rome and Jason was horrible. I think a
Yep.
lot of us, or a lot of the house, got onto Melody about her putting Mallory to the side after her reaction to being nominated on that first week. And a lot of people, and
Hmm.
that's why a lot of people did not like Melody. I think people are starting to like let that fade a little bit because that was week 1 and we're at week 4. But now Lyric is doing the same thing. You're voting out your showmance. No, the guy that you claim that you love, who's told you he loves you,
Yep.
you can't even throw him a pity vote. And then you have Jason. Jason's treatment in the house was horrible. And at the end of the day, like he was going home. And normally in a season of Big Brother, we want to not throw a hanky vote. We want to vote with the house because that's better perception than going out of your way to
Yeah.
vote for someone. Whereas the tone of the house so far has been you need to be loyal to people until the wheels fall off because if you're not, even though it's better for your game not to be,
Yeah.
you look shady. And that to me is so backwards. And I think Lyric is playing the game in the normal way of like where we've seen like as long as it's not me, Sandra Diaz, and people have respected it because you're voting with the house. But that's not at all the rules and the ecosystem that we they set in place this season. So I think
This
it's really
house,
going
yeah.
against her.
This house setup, not the setup, but like the voting setup, not the. It's very similar to 23, where like it was understood that that person would throw a hinky vote for their number one. Like everyone, that it was a lot of votes. That was like 11-1, 10-1, whatever, because it was understood in the house that I'm not voting against my number one. This is similar to that, where like especially in Lyric's case, because Also, she doesn't look great when they had that whole tea party, and she sat there in silence while they all attacked Jason. If this is supposed to be your, and you know why she did it, because she was safe. So like, if people, I would look at that kind of a way. Like everyone is literally attacking this man, and Lala of all people was the one that's defending him. That looks kind of weird, you know. So that's what I would think on it. It looks, you don't look very loyal. You look very convenient friendships.
I think someone called her, I think it was Melody, about her being two-dimensional. And I think that's part of it, right? She's coming off as like very self-interested, and then when people talk to her, it doesn't feel like they're getting to know a deeper lyric. And so again, like her connections are great and all, but if they when the time comes and they need to show up for her, like right now, I don't think it's panning out the way it's supposed to. Like Kamu's really trying to go out of his way to protect her, but I think if the majority of the lines is like no, the thing is
Yeah,
Chuck and Kamu, I'm sorry, for lack of a better word, they have no backbone. Like if
Yeah.
the icons
no.
tell them to jump, they'll say how high. So it's like, yeah, he
And
can
yeah,
advocate for you until he's blue in the face, but when you're gonna need his vote, is he gonna actually give it to you? I don't think so.
Hmm.
all it takes for Haley to tell Chuck this is the way we're voting, and that's the way he's gonna vote.
That's what I'm saying. And like even Taylor, for example, right? She decides not to vote for Lala. I think the difference here and why it may have rubbed people the wrong way is because initially she was like really pushing to save either Jason or Mallory. And so her flipping last minute seems like a little wishy-washy. Whereas if she would have stood firm in her ground, I think the reaction would have been quite different to her choosing to stay by Lala. At the end of the day, is the repercussions going to be super major? I don't think so because keeping Lala was the majority of the House vote. It only turned off the people from the other side who might have needed her vote. But I think they blame more Lala than they do Drew and Barrett, and that's the difference, I guess, between what we're criticizing Lyric not doing versus like what Taylor did
Yeah.
last minute, which I think is important to note. Okay, and speaking of voting, I want to talk about this for a moment. So we talked about Lyric and not voting for Jason, but I think what's important, and Lala and Taylor, but I think why I put Angela and Mallory and then Barrett and Mallory in yellow is because they were okay with letting her go if she wouldn't have won the blockbuster and Jason would have won. So I'm curious, do you actually think social influence is better and like Barrett advocating to keep Mallory versus him not saying anything at all and voting to evict her, especially Barrett? What do you guys think on that?
I think like you had to use some of your social capital influence to keep someone like Mallory for you in the game. Like I get why he didn't do it for Jason. I'll be like, I understand that. But for Mallory, there really is no excuse for Barrett being okay letting her leave. This is someone who will be loyal to you, and she's also not coming after people like Angela or Dee. You could talk her off, just go to the red corner. That's okay for your group. And they never even really make this argument. He does like once, and then when they push back, he goes, "Oh, okay." I think a very important trait to have in Big Brother is sometimes just like have the balls and be brave. Like you gotta stand up for your allies and yourself and just have like this fuck it we ball mentality. Like you only get the shot to play the game once. And if you play it safe, I guarantee you're gonna regret it. So you have to use this influence and capital you have. Not whenever you have, you gotta be smart about it, but you're not always going to get it.
I'm of the belief that if you have the social capital and it's best for your game for someone, use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just as simple as that for me.
Period. I will say that in talking about Barrett, right? This meme is so funny. I saw my timeline and I said I must present it for the social game, right? Um Barrett has he doesn't so he has the crossovers obviously in the tool shed, whatever that means, but he has also recognized that he's at the bottom of both of these alliances for the wrong reasons. For him, it's because he got added in late, which is a valid reason, but again, I do see the argument where people say, well, if he would have woken up the first time he wouldn't have been last. But I am of the opinion that despite the journey to get to that conclusion, the conclusion remains the same, that he's at the bottom. And yet he's willing to vote out Mallory. And Melody, and even this week, Drew, and not even warn Drew that he is the target to go on. Do you think that Barrett's social game truly is all that? Let's discuss him as a whole.
It's weird. I feel like there's always get a player like this every once in a while where it's like he on paper should have some social influence and some capital, but he never uses it, and he's kind of just okay with like following his alliance or following his allies and just like agreeing with them and going with it. It even I don't even know if he realizes that it's bad for his game or if he truly just is just like blinded. It's like, oh, they say Drew's a terrible ally. I guess Drew's a terrible ally, even though Drew's done nothing to Barrett to make Barrett should not feel this way about Drew at all. And I don't know why he's not sticking up for people like Mallory, like Melody. I get he has the weakest relationship with, but it's like you still have these are your people, and there's people in the house that you actively don't talk to and actively don't like. Like, why are we not doing more to get them? I guess they're winning power every week, but you know,
There is gonna be like a weird analysis because I don't know how you break his archetype down because like he's in the he's in a good spot, but not really. If that makes
Hmm.
sense. Like he's in the middle. Like both people trust him. Both sides trust him to some degree. Why I don't know. Um, he has the like social capital, if you want to say he does, because he's in the Power Alliance. But he's also has to read that he is in the bottom of both of those. But the problem is he does nothing about it. And then his alternative is always to go against what's best for his game. Um,
Hmm.
because losing Drew is that immediately he loses the game once he loses Drew, in my opinion. I, I don't really know how to really break it down as far as like it's a confusing game because for someone who has as much influence as he has, he doesn't really have a. We talked about Chuck and common. He doesn't have backbone either. He just kind of goes with whatever is told to him. Because like, there's no way you should someone tell you your number one's getting voted out and you don't tell him that he's the
Hmm.
vote.
I think this is the last week for me to be like hopeful about Barrett, to be honest. Like I need him to be one of the main ones pushing Lyric as to go because that benefits his game probably the most, keeping Drew and
Hmm.
Melody in the game, not only as shields but as allies. And I think he's finally woken up that he needs Mallory a lot more. And he's actually giving her like real info and like telling her how to talk to people like Haley. But I think if he just lets Drew leave, like it's so dumb.
It's
Like you
over.
have to
It's
wake
over
up,
after
man.
that. Yeah.
He's interesting because I think a lot of us go into the application process, if you will, of a show and say, I want to be in the middle. I want to position myself in the middle. I want to be between the sides of the alliance. That's how I want to play the game, and I'm gonna ride it until the end. That's the best optimal way because you're on everyone's good side. But positioning to me, Bear is the prime example of why positioning doesn't mean shit if you don't do anything to maintain it or keep it that way.
Mhm.
Because he is so passive or laissez faire that at this point in time, his positioning actually doesn't mean shit. Like, I had so much high hopes for Barrett because I think a lot of us potentially saw ourselves in him, a podcaster, someone who loves the show, who's a super fan, who studies the game, who comments on the game, who analyzes the game. And he comes in, he positions himself in the best position ever. And then what does he do the first few weeks? He cuddles up to D. Which, I mean, sure, that's not going to get you the check. If that's going to give you instant gratification, then by all means, go crazy, go stupid. But that's not why you came into the game. And I think him not maintaining his relationships, despite his relationships, aka Mallory, really advocating and hoping that he wasn't going to blindside her, caused distrust with people on the other side, especially Lyric, funny enough, who we're saying should be his push, actively saying bad things about him and Drew. They don't have our backs. He's not with us. He's not with us. And now he's kind of starting to repair those relationships. But to me, it's like you will never have the votes now. Like we're talking social game,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you need the votes. And you have set the system up where even if you're on the block, you won't have other avenues because people might have better relationships or gone out of their way to do so. So I just him being a really bad ally makes so no sense because why are you wasting your time connecting with these people, making these people trust you, and then not show up because these people like it's fun and dandy to say, well, I have this person, I have this person, but at the end of the day, you have to utilize them. You
Yeah,
unironically have to sharpen your tools to go against the other side of the house. Um, so it's really frustrating.
He might be the person that would benefit the most from like a power shift. Like if say
Yeah.
like
yeah,
Mallory wins HOH and puts up the red corner, even though we know the icons is the real power, but just weakening that red corner line. So now the icons have to depend on Barrett more, and Barrett still has the connections to the left side. He could really like have that middle positioning if he just has to be active. And I saw like moments before the veto. I get why he didn't warn Drew. He was the target pre-veto because what if it blows up and now you're backdoored? But I just need now that the veto's been used and it's official, you got to get to work, dude. And hopefully, like, I'm rooting for you, Barrett. Like, Josiane, I see myself in you, man. We're both super fans. We both 6'12. You know, we got to win this game.
Oh,
So
I don't know about 612, but okay.
I can,
Hey.
I can have a 6'12 feeling. But
Right, right.
I come on. I just hope he wakes up because when he has those moments of game conversation, sometimes you see it. You're like, oh, you have it. But then Devins
Hmm.
or D walk in and he just shuts up and says, yes. It's like, stop doing that. I need you to wake up to them specifically. I do. I don't know if it's like I said, you gotta be brave and like have the ball sometimes. I think he's scared of the powers. I do wonder if that's what's really tripping him up the most because he said, I think the Mallory today, he's like, D and Devins definitely have it. It's like those are the two people who
good
definitely have the
read.
powers. And I think as a fan, I would probably be scared too to go against them. Then all of a sudden I get coup d'etat and my whole week's blown up after I just try to shift the game. So I hopefully once if he makes it the jury, then things could shake up. But like you got to make it the jury.
I think what's upsetting me is that even that is a valid fear, and I hear you on that. But you spent all of those first few days with D. Why is it that you have no social influence over her, or at least
Yeah,
can be a partner in crime for her to talk game and talk about how she could help you? Like this, that's to me, it's like you've poured out. Barrett has been I don't even want to say poured out into these relationships because that requires you to be active. But he has gone out of his way to have these relationships with people and then just be like, ah, okay. So what was all that work for? I like this comment. Most people don't realize that being the rat floater requires a lot of active work. Most super plans can't play the Andy or John game. June game, sorry. And I totally agree. Like he almost feels lazy to me. And you ain't got shit to do in that house. Why are you being lazy?
also
Like,
too comfortable. Yeah, way too comfortable.
oh, I like this comment. Barrett not having more final two deals to me is crazy. And the ones he got, what is he doing with them?
And he doesn't have
Nothing.
he doesn't even
Let
have an
them go.
official final two of Mallory. Like, what are you doing? Like, even if you're not loyal to that final two, make a final two of Mallory. Like, just like why not? I don't know. Maybe it's just the
It's
flaw is me. I would be in that bitch making final twos every other day. I like me and you. We're so locked in. Just do it. Why not?
y'all hear that? When y'all in the house with Drake, be careful,
With
yeah.
Drake, right? But is
Right,
this
right.
number seven that you've made?
What they can do? What they can do? Expose it? I was lying to them.
It's like day 16 and you're like, oh, really? You haven't made a final two since day 16? I don't know.
I don't know.
Speaking of final twos, y'all. I know that we're currently in a period of time where it might be shifting, but I want to keep it real since prior of today. Drew has all of these duos, right? We have Drew and Melody, Drew and Barrett, Drew and Devins, Drew and Como. And at this point in time, he was giving peak social player. And yet, now that his ass is on the block, not one of them is telling him that he's about to go home. Like, is are these people truly in duos? If we think of iconic duos, Danielle Reyes and Jason Guy,
Jason.
right?
Hmm.
Cody and Derek, if you will, if you like them, Dan and
Hmm.
Memphis, whatever else. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
your duo is supposed to ride for you, help you get to that final two chair with them. And yet, his ass is on the block and no one is telling him shit. Mallory is the one who told him, and he doesn't even believe her. Why do you think that is? Do you think these people are really duos? Why are these people flopping against him?
I think they were all duos at one point in the time in this game. I don't know if they still are duos. I think Melody's the only one I get like the benefit of the doubt not warning Drew because like you're the other one on the block. So hey, Drew, you can
Yeah.
beat the target. But with these other three, I think it's a very interesting like psychological thing to look at. Is all of them felt good at Drew. Like they felt like that was their number one at a certain point. But then one person walks in, I don't trust Drew. Drew's cool. There's never gonna be reason not to trust him. Then a second person walks in, I don't trust Drew. Then a third or fourth, then we get to the fifth person saying they don't trust Drew. He must be doing something because why does everyone in this house
Yes.
not trust him? So now it's like every time you have a conversation with Drew, you're on eggshells. You're like, is he this big snake like rat floater that's ever existed? And he's just not that. But because of Angela's paranoia and just I'm gonna be real, his personality does kind of give like we all thought he had the power for a couple of days. We all thought he was capable of like playing in our faces. That's probably how they feel in the house, even though he really is just like this loyal dude. So I think it's just like the psychological of it. Everyone doesn't trust him now, and he doesn't even realize it. So.
This comment is so funny. Guys, it's all Drew Giesling's master plan for his funeral moment this week.
If he survives this week and ends up winning, this is like one of like the weirdest like people are gonna be like talk about Drew he got out of this spot. He didn't know he was in this spot to get out of it.
He didn't even know he was in this spot.
I don't think he can win because he can't clock that he's in trouble this week, which is crazy, even when we're telling him to his face.
He definitely has like some of the worst reader room I've ever seen in like in Big Brother history. But also, I'm like, no one has told him the real information for the last like 2 weeks. So I mean, that's a good point. They walk up to that memory wall every day and see that. I would be sketched
out. Yeah.
It's the vibes, it's the aura, I guess. I mean, my frustration with Drew is that he is the only person to blame, low key. Like Angela did play in his face, of course, but Melody comes up to you, right? And I don't know. Hey, Drake is our historian, so maybe he could pull another example for me out there. But I don't think that I have seen in my time someone make a final two with someone on like day 3, day 2, whatever, and then go to his alliance and pitch that person under the bus, talk mad shit, and do all of this to turn his allies against someone who actually has his back, and then turn around and be confused as to why they want to go after her. Drake, do you have any other examples? Because to me, this might be a first.
I think the most famous example is like Corey in America. And I think part of it is the super fan archetype that didn't think they would get into a showmance starts catching feelings. And they're like, how do I navigate this? Because when you're in a showmance, like you are a package deal, we're going to be together. I don't think Drew really knows how to do that. Also, a part of why I think Devin started disliking him so much. I watched RHAP this morning. Taryn talked about it. The first thing we see on feeds is how Devins and Drew talk about how Melody jumping off Mallory's train so fast they got a bad feeling about Melody. Now Drew keeps doing the same thing to Melody to Devins. He's like, I don't know, we can't trust Melody. We gotta get rid of her, but you're with her all day. So now they feel suspicious about that.
Yeah,
I just don't think he knows how to navigate the whole showmance of it all, and a lot of people make this mistake. Get your allies to work with your other allies. Don't pit them against each other. Try to get them to work together. But I don't know if it's easier said than done, but because it shouldn't be that hard.
D, what about you? Any thoughts?
I have nothing. I have nothing.
Hey, and that's okay. No thoughts, head empty. I will say, like, I think a lot of these people are. It's like Barrettitis in here. It feels like it's manifesting its way through. To me, the fact that these people aren't valuing Drew, I understand that Drew's doing too much. I think this comment's interesting about maybe Barrett realizing that he watched Drew overplay, and things like that, and maybe that Tim is not worth putting his neck out for. But at the end of the day, you need people who are going to prioritize you. And the issue with this game and the social of it all is that instead of having individual mindsets, there's a very big herd mentality. And there are people who are unfortunately being sheep and being led by people like D, people like Devin, people like Angela, who are self-interested. And this is an individual game, and I fear that we're losing the plot. I fear we're too in our heads, right? Like let's look at Drew. His idea is, I want to go with the crossovers to the end. That's my group. In the crossovers, there's five of you. Three of them are icons. Why the hell do you think that setup's going to work out for you? And yet, closing he's doing it blindly, giving him all the information. Same thing with Barrett, right? I don't even know who Barrett's loyalties are. Like, it's so weird. I guess to D question mark?
No,
Like,
it's to Devins. I think they're both just loyal to Devins. And that's the only reason they haven't jumped ships. Is Devins has done like a lot of good work making Drew and Barrett feel like it's them three versus Angela and D when it gets to the final five. I also I do wonder if part of like specifically Drew, who's like this young athletic guy, and these in-game competitions are all very physical. He's might be like, I could just beat all of them, but maybe D in these last couple of comps. And I think if it's a Drew and Barrett final too, if I'm Drew, I'd be like, shit, I talk to people. Barrett just be sleeping, he'd be chilling all day. But I guess like if Devon's like there's like social of it all is like Devon's makes them feel good about the crossovers. He don't really like them.
I feel like Devin's kind of like I watch feeds and then I see Devin's like body language or the way he speaks, and I'm like, Devin is not doing a good job of making you feel safe. It's just that Andrew's delusional. He's on that Devin's juice, if you will. Like to me, he's not actually putting in the work to make him feel super safe. But Drew is just so oblivious to it. But like I kind of understand where he could be a little delusional about it because Drew is good for Devin's game, and vice versa. Like I think, but the fact that they're just not on the same page to me is Angela's influence. To be honest, like it's insane how again Devins goes out of his way to ruin his relationships by taking them out, a la Rome, and now Drew. So I don't know if Devins' social game to me is a little like whack because he has these good
It is.
relationships and he's not willing to prioritize and value them as much because he has a bond with the icons. And even then we'll get to that. But speaking of bonds, what the hell happened here? Last week it was giving Kamu Taylor, it was giving Kamu the week before that it was giving Kamu Melody, he was kind of kicking with the girls. And unlike Lyric, he can't have no roster. Like he can't have too many eggs in his basket. And it to me, it's like, what happened to these relationships? To me, it's giving you're fading, and now Kamu's replacement is Lyric. Do you guys see it this way as well, or do you think Kamu is navigating all these potential duo relationships properly?
I can guarantee you Kamu thinks he is navigating this properly. He's definitely not. I don't think him and Taylor have talked since they had that meeting about the tethers. I don't know what Taylor's thoughts are on Kamu, but I bet you I wouldn't be shocked right now if I would have bees and she was like, yeah, maybe we should take out Kamu because they haven't talked. Same with Melody. They haven't talked this like whole week and she's on the block. She needs to fight for votes. He's been so locked in on making sure Lyric is safe and like making sure Lyric doesn't go on the block. And from my understanding, people outside of the tool chat are aware that he's fighting for Lyric to stay, and people in the tool chat are getting annoyed that he's fighting for Lyric to stay. So it's like, man, I think people underestimate how hard it is to like keep bonds and like hold on to them because you get so distracted by trying to fight for one, like a new one. But no, sometimes you don't need a new one every week. Have the ones you had and keep them because if you don't talk to them, they're gonna jump ship.
I think in regards, I'm gonna try to do this like individually and try to workshop this. I think in regards to Taylor, I think he believes because they've had that relationship since basically day one that she'll be fine and she's not in trouble. She got herself off. So I'm thinking he's like, we talked about this, alliance and stuff. We're good. I brought people. Like I think he thinks in his mind that he has done enough. Where like, yeah, I can go back to talk to Taylor at any point, and maybe that's true because we haven't really gotten Taylor's viewpoint on that. That could be true. If it was between any of them, I would believe it's more likely with Taylor because of their relationship early on. The melody of it all is like Melody strikes me as the person that's like I can tell when you fake, and once I'm done with you, I'm done with you. So I don't think there's no fixing that, and I think he honestly probably, in my opinion, favors Lyric over that anyways. In regards to Lyric, I think this is just Lyric wore him down because I do because early on, like during his HOH, she was doing a lot. Like even when Rome was, she was doing a lot. I think it was finally that whole like the facade. I don't want to say facade. That's someone's beliefs, but I think the whole like spirituality and all that stuff of it all. At the end of the day, the flesh is the flesh. I think he legitimately, though, in my opinion, relates more to Lyric than the other two, and that's probably what it comes down to. But he's not doing a good job of tethering those relationships, in my opinion.
It's crazy because you know what? And exactly. Bring the comment to the front. It's crazy to me that it literally, yo, when I make these presentations, I make them in advance because I can't do this shit last minute no more. And all of a sudden, Kabu is going up to Haley HOH talking about maybe Lyric should go. What? What is happening? What is happening? And to this comment's point, the legacy of the season will be weak bonds and little loyalty. Hey, you ate that, coin that. That's yours. That's yours. I'm not gonna take it. I'm gonna put
This
it to
is
the
really
screen right
starting to feel
here.
like BB7. It's crazy.
Because and this is the issue, right? People are making these surface ass relationships, and it's getting strange, it's getting weird, because Como and Melody having that moment and talking in the backyard could have been something very good for the both of them, right? Like, we are sitting here and we keep seeing the same side win, but there will come a day, and I hope that day comes soon, where the other side will get power. And at this point in time, when the power flips, they're going to think that little conversation they had week 2 is going to be enough to put value in week 6. And then they're going to feel betrayed when they get put up on the block. But hello, it's a relationship. It's a relationship that you have to cultivate, that you have to, if we're giving a plant analogy, I'm not trying to be sincere or nothing in this bitch, but if you're talking about plants, you have to put your seeds in, you have to nurture it, you got to water it, you have to let it grow. And Kamu is the prime example. Same thing with Barrett. Barrett does it a little bit better, where you have to keep nurturing these relationships. Taylor, to me, if she puts Kamu on the block, she don't owe him shit, to be for real, to be
No,
frank.
No, she
If
don't.
Melody went HOH, I would be surprised if he would feel betrayed that she put him up. Because when's the last time you two had a one-on-one that you weren't asking the same 3 questions that she's been pissed off about hearing about on feeds? Like, you
yeah,
actually don't play game with her. And that's why, to me, given the dynamics of the toolshed currently, he's the most likely to go. Because, even if with Haley, right, her and Angela, like, they have connected to a point where they feel, to me, more solid of a duo than Haley and Conway at this point in time.
I
Conway's
agree.
throwing out Lyric under the bus,
who was that
Taylor
that you
under the
said?
bus. Pardon?
Who was the duo that you said you felt was stronger of a duo than Haley and
Angela and
Chuck?
Haley.
Oh, Angela and Haley. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
to
I agree with
me,
that.
the vets are in power because I think they realize the importance of cultivating these relationships and letting them prosper in a way, even if it's not daily. And I think it takes two to tango, obviously, right? But there's this weird interest in people wanting to flock with the vets. So to the vets, it's kind of easy for them to sit there and cultivate those relationships. And I think this is where people think being passive is fine. Because when the table turns, and it will turn, child, all of these relationships you could have had, they're all faded. So now what?
Yeah. Honestly, like I think the person who's going to be the safest is whoever the last HOH was on the right side. When the left side finally wins power, like if
Yeah,
say someone like say Mallory wins HOH next week, on theory Haley might be the safest just because Haley's the one who was the most recent HOH and actually made those bonds with them. But I had no faith if the right side wins again, Haley's going to keep those bonds up. That's how I felt like when
no.
Kama was HOH. I'm like, oh, I guess Kama's the safest now. Now he's not because he's not keeping these bonds. It's just a guy
Perfect.
who talks the most to these people when they're not in power. It's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the perfect
And
example of like him dropping the ball is like when and I saw in the chat. I think it was Precious that brought this up, and I agree with this point here because this
mm-hmm.
ties in what I'm saying. Like the perfect example, Yash picked up Taylor basically, because
Mm-hmm.
if you think about when Taylor, when she first was getting put on the block, things like that, this would have been a perfect time for him to go talk to her and give her a listen to her or give her a pep talk or anything in that sense because you got the relationship there. She'll be more willing to, but it was Yash and Lala that did it, right? So like this is supposed to be your homie, it's supposed to be your girl. You guys are in alliances together. Like why why wouldn't you go do that? This would be a perfect example to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if you have a Yash slide, but I just quickly on Yash.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do? Then I'll wait until we get to Yash then.
Okay, I do. Because Yash is very interesting as a whole. But I will say
It feels
lastly,
like he
like,
woke up.
cha, he been somewhere else. You know, he got that kiwi in, I guess, and now he's awake. Lord, Kamu, Kamu to me has no strong one-on-one relationships that would prioritize him anymore.
No.
No,
He's willing to sacrifice Drew. Him and Chuck, I feel like Chuck is closer to Haley. He could have had something with Melody. He doesn't. Taylor, nothing. Lyric done throw her under the bus. She might go next this week. I can't think of any. Him and Devins don't, to my understanding, have anything.
I don't
I
really
think
think
they
Devin takes
respect
that
each
serious.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
Him
don't think. Yeah,
him
go
and
for it.
Devin have a decent bond. When Kama was like everyone's telling him he's such a Drew, Devin was the one that went in there and told him like all basically we got anti-Drew stuff, but he's like, but it's me and you. And I think from Devin's perspective, it's definitely fake. But I think Kamu's number one guy might be Devin's. But the thing is,
hmm
Kamu doesn't really have anybody. I feel like I think Kamu thinks he has everyone, but from our perspective, I don't think he has anybody.
he
That's a
did, he dropped the
delusion.
ball a lot early on. Even the Haley relationship that he was developing, he just abandoned that.
Yeah,
So like
Mm,
it is. I don't think maybe this is a different style for him. Maybe he's that friend that like talks to you. You have a really deep conversation, and he thinks we're good, like we're the best friends ever, and he doesn't talk to you for 3 weeks. Maybe that's the type of friend he is. But like in the game, that just doesn't
mm,
work.
yeah. He's becoming the Drew of the house. Like if Drew goes this week, he is the new
mm,
Drew. Where it's like everyone is kind of suspect because we had a good bond, but now we don't. And I'm hearing that you're doing this stuff with everyone, and I feel like his is more deserved than Drew. Like Drew was doing a little too much. Well, I think Drew kind of had Angela hate him, and then made everyone slowly start hating him.
Yeah.
Where Kamo, I think it's happening more organically because he's actually just mishandling relationships.
mm.
I
I
will
hear
say,
you.
Kamu's biggest downfall in the game. I've said this before about certain people. Winning HOH can either enhance your game or hurt it, and I think he's a perfect case of it hurt it because I was of the belief that before he won HOH, oh, he's in a great spot, like he's doing well, and that HOH kind of just unraveled his entire game. It's kind of like been a domino effect since.
I don't know if it was HOH. I think it was the Tea Party. I was about to pull that comment up too.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
but the
I
HOH
was
didn't start off great though. It didn't.
to be fair though, I think he showed, and I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible. I think he showed his ass at the tea party.
Oh
And
yeah,
I think obviously we've seen cases of HOH itis, and but I think people are willing to tolerate it depending on how they feel about the person, despite their HOH. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas I don't feel like he had the relationships to be doing that whole show and making a fool of himself. Because I think he thought he had the backing of his team and that he had these strong relationships, and he didn't. Like, yeah, everyone sat there in silence, but it's not because they agreed with you. It's
They
because
felt
they didn't want to
uncomfortable.
risk their position in the
Yeah,
game, and they also probably felt uncomfortable. It felt very bystander effect, where it's like, okay, there's a group of us, and no one's gonna do anything because there's a group of us. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like
you
it's
perfectly. Yeah,
very very strange.
it
Also,
was
I think.
like everyone went out. Go ahead, Jerry.
Oh, you can go D.
I was just saying everyone won the house except like obviously Angela and Haley, but everyone won the house no matter what side and was like that was wrong. Like it feels like we're attacking the J. Like everyone did that. Like so like for some of those people that was saying that I'm like why don't you speak up, lyric. But like they all were like just obviously this is better for our position not to say anything. But the only two people that seemed to really think you did a good job on that was Haley and Angela, and you know how everyone feels about them.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was gonna say before the Tea Party and like before his HOH, I felt like when people had talks about taking shots to the red corner, when like D and Devins or like Drew, when they talked about it, who do we get out? Well, Con was probably the best player over there, but he's the one we're closest to, so it probably should be
Yes,
Haley or Chuck. Now I feel like it's switched where it's like I think Haley's the closest to the crossovers, and then the debate comes Conmu or Chuck. And if they thought Conmu was such a better player than Chuck, why would you get rid of Chuck? It's like at that point, get rid of Conmu. So I just feel like he's damaged his relationships from his HOH and also this week. He's damaged almost every relationship in the game.
hmm
Well, looking at the duos that I've added Angela and Haley. I feel like they've solidified something in terms of like I trust you a lot. And I think Mallory and Melody came together a lot due to Lyric and her throwing them both underneath the bus, which was insane to watch. And so these are the duos I believe for week 4, whether it's fake or true, these are kind of the people we need to look out for in terms of dynamics. Now looking at the trios, so this is the trios that we had beforehand. Um, Jason was a part of 2 of them, and unfortunately has left the game, which has created a shift, I believe, in terms of like how many trios are there, what are true trios. So this is where the standings I believe are this week. Um, I think all of the trios have demonstrated some very negative things, which I'm excited to talk about. And I think the mistrust amongst trios, I think, is going to create ripple effects in terms of the larger alliances in the house, which I'm excited to see because at this point, ooh, it's giving steamroll. So let's talk
Yeah.
about the red corner. Ah, this is my thought, y'all. Maybe this is a hot take. Could Haley be replaced? Not necessarily in the red corner, but it seems as though Kamu and Chuck have both taken a liking to Lyric, and it has caused friction amongst the core 3 of the red corner. Haley being frustrated, wanting to put Haley on the Lyric on the block. Granted, again, I made these slides before Kamu decided to throw Lyric under the bus, but let's say Lyric stays and Lyric wins an HOH. Could we see Lyric take Haley's place?
It's a possibility.
I
Maybe with Como. I don't know for sure with Chuck though.
Yeah, I don't know about Chuck. Chuck is like so blindly loyal to Haley. Like he's more loyal to
Yeah,
Haley than I think he is Kamu. So
yeah.
I don't really know. You said so if Haley leaves, would Lyric be the one that go in there? Is that what you're asking?
Or she won
I'm
the
I'm
HOH and put
I'm
her out.
curious if Lyric's HOH, right, and Haley goes or Lyric just gets power. I'm not saying that like the core 3 would just disappear, but could there be a possibility that Lyric kind of takes a trio moment with both Kamu and Chuck as she's both connected to them and they're connected to each other?
I don't know if it would be with Chuck. I think it would maybe be with Yash instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think like one of the duos that like was that Lyric and Yash to me are like a duo. Like at this
Mm,
point in the game, where if Lyric makes it through, like I think they will just be locked in more than her and Kamu or her and Chuck. I think it would be like a Kamu Yash Lyric, but I think it would be fake. I think they wouldn't trust Kamu fully, and Kamu probably would be
Como
fake to
wouldn't
him.
trust. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't
it's
see Chuck being the one. I think Chuck is so deep down that Haley train that I don't really see that happening where he
I,
replaces her.
I also just think Chuck's not like a fluid type of player. I think Chuck's like, this is my
No,
group. I'm staying with
it's
that
all or
group.
nothing.
It's
Yeah.
we're all in this together.
mm,
Where I think Kamu, like he has faults as a player. I think he's more willing to play fluid.
mm.
He's just not
I
good
think
at
Yeah.
oh,
it.
clock him. I think it's really interesting though that she's able to cause such havoc amongst the 3 of them, with Kamu and Chuck both trying to keep Lyric off the block to the point where Haley was getting frustrated, and I think that fueled her fire to put her up. And so I'm interested to see if Lyric can continue to cause chaos and mistrust amongst the 3. I think Kamu's very hot and cold. I think same thing with Chuck. All it takes is Lyric to maybe bat her eyelashes at them, and I think we could be talking about the 3 of them potentially being together. Um, it's Lyric's missed, in my opinion.
Yes.
But only time will tell.
Yeah, I think the hardest part was will be Chuck because I feel like Chuck had that one conversation where Lyric like snowed him completely. He said, "Oh, in the morning we got to Haley about this. This changes the whole game."
Mm-hmm.
He went to Haley. Lyric's lying. Oh, you're right. She probably was lying. And then he would just walk away. It's like whoever. I don't know if there's miss in this game, but I think it's like whoever's the last person to talk to Chuck misses Chuck immediately. It's like how does this keep
Whoever's
happening?
the last woman that talks to Chuck
Clock it.
is I
But
is
that's
either Lyric or Haley.
but that's why I think, in my opinion, that like if Lyric wins in HOH,
I
she
can see
could
it.
make shit shake. Like genuinely,
She changed the
I think she
game.
would have every right to put up Haley because she put her up and broke her word.
Mhm.
And I think Haley could have the votes to go. And so the two of them are gonna look for another woman to rely on. I think that could
Okay,
be
if that
Lyric. So
happens, yes, I could see that. But Haley would have to be completely out of the house. Um, and it
I
would
mean
work
it's
because Chuck already
possible.
has a relationship with Lyric. It is possible. I just don't see it happening. Complete anything can happen. His big
Mm-hmm.
brother, but from Chuck's standpoint, his track record so far has not shown that. Like he doesn't even talk to the other side of the house. Really, Lyric is the only one. And when he
Yeah.
does, and when he is in conversations with the other side of the house, it's clear that he's just getting information to go tell Haley and the rest of the people and drag it. So like, at least Kamala has conversations that are fluid with the other side of the house. So Chuck's shown that he's just not willing to play ball like that.
I love a clam slam reference, so I have to put that up there. Honestly, hey, there are parallels to this season of Love Island and this cast of Big Brother. I don't know if it's because some of the casting team is similar. I don't know. But
Some
hey,
of these
she
people
got that
think they're
Kenzie
on Love
Miss.
Island.
Hey, she got that Kenzie Miss. Yes. Oh, this is so nice. Thank you,
Thank you.
Alex.
Alex.
Uh, Alex, shout out to you for real, for real. I see you in the comments even when I'm not podcasting, so it's nice to see you here today.
Alex, are you a millionaire? Because how do you have so much to send to us? Like I swear, every other podcast, like not even every other, it's every podcast I'm on about Big Brother. I see it.
Just
Hey,
dropping
it's
points.
let's mind our business.
Yeah, I'm
Shout
like
out to
Alex.
Right.
Alex.
Alex got that bread. I'm like, thank
Hey,
you.
don't stop
Eh,
being
eh, eh,
IRS,
eh, eh.
Drake.
That's what I'm saying.
I have to do his taxes later. I do be doing taxes. It's like one of my side jobs. So
Lord Jah.
Oh man,
All
Drake,
right.
like
Speaking of
everything's a write off.
trios, hey, let me not out your business, Drake. I'm interested to talk about this trio specifically. What I'm interested to talk about is because the icons have been this solid group, right? Despite knowing from jump that Dee and Devins are both from Survivor, Angela has felt very comfortable being a part of this three, even if she is technically the third. I think her relationship with Dee has maybe lulled her into a comfortability. But this week, what's been interesting is Devitz has been really talking about how he's just not fucking with Angela that much. Not to the point of saying I'm gonna vote her out or I wanna evict her, but it's starting to see it to me it seems like cracks are starting to form. The fact that he didn't tell her about the diamond power veto. And even Dee not telling Devin or Angela about her power. I'm just curious, is there a world where this trio doesn't last as long as we think, especially if the power diamond power veto is used and she's not aware and she finds out that D knows and she doesn't.
I
Go,
think even
Drake.
like during this stream, like we're seeing more cracks because like D and Devins are pushing to keep the Drew thing, and Angela's like no, and I just feel like these cracks are forming, and I think if they weren't icons, Devins wouldn't work with Angela, and we're starting to see that natural, not even after that forced alliance is starting to not become natural as Devins starts to like other people more. I think he likes Barrett more than he likes Angela. He might like people in the red corner more than he likes Angela. He probably likes Mallory or a Melody or a Taylor more than he likes Angela. He always talks about how he doesn't like Haley, and Haley hangs out with Angela all the time. And I think in his
Yeah,
mind,
that's smart.
it's like
Yeah,
I don't really rock with her, and she's kind of getting annoying. We're supposed to be playing this like slick game, and I think even like with the Diamond Power veto, he's like, "This is for me and you, D. I'll use it on one of us." And then like the next day, D said, "What about Angela?" Like, oh yeah, I would use it on Angela too. He did not mean that shit at all. I could tell he did not mean that. He would not use it on Angela, and I think the cracks are starting to naturally form. Because even in that conversation about keeping Drew, Devins backs down and says, okay, we can evict Drew. D's the one who stands on this and says, no, I don't think we should. I think D probably has more influence, but I think these cracks are starting to form. And Angela is such a paranoid player. We've seen it this season. We definitely saw it on 26, where she will turn on her allies the moment she gets an inkling that she needs to do it, or she has like some type of thought in her mind that they don't like her. I think this is the longest Angela's ever worked with someone, and I'm surprised that she hasn't turned on them yet. So I think the more and more Devins is like mask starts to fade about his feelings for Angela, it's only a matter of time before Angela just blows it all up.
Yeah, I think this is gonna break up soon.
Hmm.
And I think it's the Angela and Devins of it all. Because like wasn't it Angela that was talking like she talked to these two how bad she disliked Haley. And doesn't it seem odd now that that's like your buddy now? Like I know Devins is probably thinking the same thing. Like we all have agreed that we're getting, annoyed with Haley. And now you're like friends with her and stuff like that. Or you guys are like super tight, you're always together. So like and I think the minute that diamond power veto gets used, that's it. I think that would be the final nail in the coffin. But I think before that, we could see at least a Devins and Angela split. I really don't
I
even think
think
Devins and D really want to be together.
Mm. I think this comment and to your point about none of them being each other's natural allies is so interesting, right? Like I think a lot of the times when we see alliances form or bonds form, there is a commonality. There's a lot of
Mhm.
things in common of an interest, right? Um if I hate to compare, I'm gonna use the cookout. I know the cats loves to talk about the cookout. Um the cookout, for example, while they had a common goal, the connections they had outside of the
We're
cookout were
better.
their natural
Hmm.
allies, right? If we're using that terminology. But the mission was so important to prioritize that they had to really go against it because of this greater cause. There is not another greater cause in this house. Like there's no reason for the crossovers to stick together. The icons sticking
No.
together because they're icons is not a greater
Well,
cause.
the
Um,
greater cause of Zach Brown. Okay, we gotta start. Let me stop.
Oh
Stop.
my God. I just literally, I only have heard that name once, and it's in the Survivor, like in the context of Survivor.
Hmm.
Oh my God. It just, my all my tweets just flashed in front of my head right now from that Zach Brown episode. But there's, again, to bring it back, there is no greater cause for them to stick together. And I think they're realizing as the weeks go on that, maybe I don't actually need you. Um, LOL, Tori. Love you too, Queen. And you know what's crazy? I be hyping Tori up in the comments. I be hyping up Tori in the comments, and then the tables turn, and now look how I'm
Tori should
treated.
That's
be
crazy.
Tori should be thankful because when I did my play rating, gave Devin a 7.5.
Oh, I don't want to hear it.
Now
Let's not mention
no,
that. That's blacklisted.
all the heat is on me instead of Tori now. So I'm the one who gets the hate. I took it away from her. But
When did y'all take my spot?
um, but
Big Brother
ultimately,
season.
eh, um, I think here they're just naturally falling apart, and I think Dee and Devins genuinely do like each other. Um, and I think 50 might have bonded them, and that's why, even if they might not seem
Yeah,
like the natural allies because they didn't work together on 50, I think 50 bonded them so much that that's their commonality, right? And they've gotten to know each other.
Yeah.
Angela, she doesn't know them, right? And it seems that the people she's liking are Haley of all people. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's. I don't think this will last.
Um,
And I'm excited to see when it doesn't.
from what I've heard is like Survivor Ponderosa. Apparently, D and Devins got like very close, and they're like best friends at Survivor Ponderosa. So all the
Mm,
50 cast when they were on, I was like, oh, they're gonna be really close. They're gonna run the game together. Like they are like genuinely like, really good friends. But I think there's a little bit of like Spicy V and Anthony from like Big Brother Canada where they are really good friends. But I don't know if their play styles is similar. I think the way they play the game is different enough where it can cause friction the longer the game goes on. Where I think Devins is like wants to play the game chaotically. This whole reason he wants to keep Drew is like it would be fun and I'm bored. Where I think D wants to keep Drew because he's like it might benefit me, and I can see Devins as a little like chaoticness pissing off D, and I can also see like D's like straightforwardness pissing off Devins when he wants to have fun. So maybe this is
yeah.
just cope because I do want friction within the power structure. Because let's be real, these three had the most influence in the entire house. It's just them three and everyone else saying yes. So
I really think Angela has the most influence. I don't know. Crazy
she's
statement.
gotten her way so far. I'm curious to see if Drew goes despite this random push. I think Angela to me would have had the most influence because she's gone her
Yeah,
way
She
every time.
she
she seems to
definitely.
have D's ear. If I'm saying, because
Yeah.
D's the power player, it seems like she's the one that usually has D's ear.
Yeah, I would say she's definitely had the most influence for the first 4 weeks of the game. But even if Drew leaves, how much does she influence does she have in a post Drew world where now she went from talking about Drew every single conversation and people believed it when she does it again to someone else, like say every other conversation becomes an anti Kamu or anti Yash
That's what
conversation.
I was thinking.
Does she
Yeah,
keep this same influence or is it like, oh, you're doing it again? Like we see through you, you know? So,
yeah. We could
I,
get another crazy eyes.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. The
Are you
random
good?
interjection. It's okay. Um, okay, the last trio I want to talk about, is it really a trio? Let's settle this debate. Is this truly a trio? Is it a trio of
No,
substance? All right,
no.
thank you.
No, it's honestly like I don't know if either of these two have talked to Taylor like in the last
and
week.
Since this
and
happened,
this And this is exactly what I said last week. Last week, if you didn't watch the episode, I was with Lee, and Lee was like, "Are you going to talk about the Devins and Conlon Taylor thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure. I'm just not going to put them as a trio because, to me, I want to see if it's going to go beyond this week." And like clockwork, the three of them didn't talk, so I have them as a trio currently. But again, like I'm really curious. Had Taylor not won veto, if they would have advocated for her. Do you think they would have advocated for Taylor?
Kamu, not Devins.
I actually think both of them would have. Like I don't think it would have been more pro Taylor. I think it would have been more anti Drew and Melody though. At least
It,
from
yeah,
Devin's
It's
perspective.
Devins' perspective, but I think Kamu would. I think Kamu would almost have to be forced to do that. Also, this would probably okay. So are we living in a world that who won veto? Because then there wouldn't be a lyric, right? Or
Yeah,
would
let's
it
just
be a
say
lyric?
let's say
Chuck wins it.
nominations stayed the same post veto.
Yeah, he would have to do it by default because of how what he did with his HOH. People would expect because then he would be looked at weird. They would expect him to campaign for Taylor to stay because he told them as such that she wasn't going on the block on his HOH. It would almost kind of look disloyal if he didn't, in my opinion, for Common.
Yeah.
I think this comment ranks true. I think Taylor prioritizes this as a whole. Here's a little bit of my frustration. If I have to take something from Taylor, like a negative, I think she came into the game with a strategy and she wanted to implement that strategy. And it's not a bad strategy, but it's a strategy that takes time and it's a strategy that it means that people are willing to go away from their groups. And to me, it makes no sense. So, unfortunately, while I love the idea in theory, it just doesn't work, especially on this season. And so,
Hmm.
this energy for Calmo and Devons, in my opinion, should go towards Melody and Mallory. I think
Yes.
if Lyric gets evicted, I think they need a pivot, and that should be the trio that we see moving forward. It takes all three of them to tango, obviously. But again, in a week where if Taylor gets power, if Mallory gets power, if like I don't know, Melody in this world, hopefully Drew's gone or something. I don't know. But the three of them have to actively want to work together and they should want to work together because they're in the same position. So to me, it's a trio, but not really. Next week, I'm taking them off unless something really changes. Sorry, Lee.
Yeah, I think
Um,
next week's pod, which I don't think I'm on, is gonna be the story of who picks up Mallory, or does anyone do it, or is she just like an easy number that gets up going. I think Mallory could be a very valuable piece for a lot of people in the game. Same with like Taylor.
mhm.
Like who locks in?
So these are the trios, but trust and believe, I do want that trio on the right to leave. By hell and high water, and I am both. I'm a Father Pope. So we'll see if these trios last. I'm really hoping to see movement. These trios have been consistent aside from the trios on the left have been very consistent this entire time, and I actually want change in all three of the trios. Uh so we wanted to talk about Yash. So this is how I had Yash last week. I said Yash in better than Ashley because Ashley and Yash are kind of in the same boat to a degree. He had a relationship with Rome and then Rome left. So we had the Dapper Dance last week. But this week, not only do we have the Dapper Dance, but we also have the Wolf Pack. So this is kind of Yash's game. I had to make a separate slide for Yash because I just don't think any of these are genuine. Like, sorry, I know y'all love Ashley, but Ashley was on an island. Look at that week one chart. I made a whole House Alliance chart, and Ashley was not connected to nobody. So the straight is worth it. But that's a diva. That's a mother. That's a queen. Just not in the BB house. I hope you're enjoying your burger experience, by the way, Ashley. Um, but this is the alliances he's in. Um, Thoughts? Because I genuinely don't have anything to say. These people to me aren't loyal to him.
No, I don't think he's loyal to
No,
them either, and I think that's what makes Josh an interesting player. Is I think Josh has people view Josh as like this loyal, likable guy. I don't think he is a loyal like guy. I think he is very like could be cutthroat. The way he talks to people about how people have not people are snowed by Josh except for one Angela Murray. Okay, Angela sees right through Josh, and she didn't even see Josh until Chuck mentioned Josh said something about Angela could go. A lot of these people just underestimate Yash. Devins feels good about Yash. Kamu feels good about Yash. Barrett feels good about Yash. I think Yash is semi loyal to Barrett, but I don't know how real it is. I think Yash has this ability when you talk to him, you feel like he's enjoying the plan. He like the way he presents his personality, his excitement. It's like, oh, he's loving this plan. He's digging it. He's really loyal to us. Then he walks out of the room and says, "Yeah, Chuck and Haley gotta get the fuck out of this house." It's like, oh, I didn't expect that. You were upstairs. You're eating that up. It's like, okay, like there's something about I think he's definitely a recruit. He's also an alternate. So I don't think he expected to be playing this game. I don't even know how much research he did. And you kind of see him learning it on the fly. It's actually like a very interesting watch. Like I don't think Josh was ever prepared to play this game because he wasn't going to. So.
yeah, I think the people that Yash actually is like tight with aren't on the screen.
But
So I
that's the
think,
funny thing, and he's in no alliances with them. I can't put Yash on the screen if he's not in an alliance with
Yeah,
nobody.
that's true.
it's
And
like
that's
No,
his
a
issue.
it's an
I
issue with
got
the whole left side. I fear is like they just gotta make more alliances. He has like a lot of like, I'll look out for you, you look out for me. That's why I think Barrett might be his actual number one because like even every time he does something, he like goes and sits with Barrett and they talk about it real quick, and then they leave. Like he like, goes out of his way to check in with Barrett. It's like Barrett and Lyric are the two people he actually goes and checks in with.
I really like this. These alliances aren't real, but he's currently benefiting from them. He's viewed as the unofficial ninth member of the toolshed by them. Exactly. Yosh is in a really interesting position because he hasn't had to really show his cards. But the cards he is showing, what he's being for real, I have enjoyed. Have I enjoyed his other comments? Perhaps not. But some of the game stuff, I'm like, yes. Even when he's talking shit, I'm like, yes, okay. So you're not asleep. Like, it's like he rose
it.
again. Hey, where were you? It was giving 40 nights, 40 days asleep, and now he's
Yeah.
awake.
Oh wow.
At the beginning of the season, I thought he could be like the McKinsey of the season, where it's like he's kind of oblivious, less on the out, and then someone picks him up as like this comp piece they use. But the more and more he
Mm.
gets into the game, I think he does have like BB-18 Paul upside, where like he's like
Oh,
slowly
wow.
gets into the power structure. He's maybe at the bottom of that power structure, but they still trust him enough where he can flip the game into his positioning. And he has Paul's 18 game is very flawed. Like his 19 game is where he's dominant, but his 18 game is flawed. But mostly 18 is just him getting into the power structure after his allies are taken out, and then him slowly becoming the top dog. Even though Nicole definitely outplays him, he's definitely like probably the second best player of that season, or maybe James is. But like it's just he's very flawed, but you can see him learning the game. And I just think I'm trying to remember Paul's games. I give a better description of it from 18, but like I see the potential there.
I think it's interesting because let's say, and this is a world I don't want to live in, um, the tool shed does decimate the whole other side except for one or two players. I think if that is the world we live in, right? Yash is probably one of the few people left, and he's the person that they're like, okay, I have to utilize him to get him on side. Do I want that world to happen? No, because I don't want a steamroll. But I think Yash is in that position, and in terms of like actually being in the middle with avenues to go and explore, I actually think he's the most in the middle aside from the icons. But even then, the icons have kind of cause animosity towards other or have animosity with the other side and vice versa. So Yash is actually the person I think who could actually properly play the middle. Barrett, they're already kind of sketched out by him. And Angela, like I guess she's against Yash, but that's one person whereas I feel like Barrett's been kind of like on thin ice for a long time.
Yeah, and I think Yash and Barrett's position is very similar. I think Yash is just more self-aware of his position.
Mm, mm.
Where I think, like, I don't know if you saw this, but they talked about when Drew gets out, what if they renamed the tool shed the treehouse, but include Yash? Which honestly, I want Drew evicted just so they can do that. That's one of the funniest things ever in Big Brother because
Devin has
that's
been calling that alliance the
yeah,
treehouse
because
anyways.
they keeps he keeps fucking it up, and they said we should just make it the treehouse if Drew goes, which is just so funny. But
That's crazy.
yeah, and also Devins is defending Yash to the Angela. He's like, no, that's not Yash. They're making that up. He's with us, and I think they're underestimating him. I think this has been a problem with all the icons. They've been underestimating certain people, and they've been overestimating others. I think Yash is maybe the worst person. Yash and Taylor are the two they shouldn't underestimate, and they are overestimating Taylor, and they're underestimating Yash. You gotta properly rate people in the house.
Okay, let's talk about the majority, right? So this is where we left off last week. We had initially in week one we had sides. It was the red corner versus the crossover, and then we had other people. Last week it evolved to being one side and the rest of the people just kind of floating. And this week's really interesting in my opinion because of the fact that Drew is the target to go home. Devins distrusts Angela. There's animosity amongst the icons. There's animosity amongst the core three of the red corner. Then you have Barrett who's constantly feeling like under the bottom. And I'm curious, do we think the majority will still exist? Do you think it should exist given these circumstances? Not just because you don't want to steamroll, but based off how people are behaving in this current time.
I think in my mind, there's no way this majority could last another week or another 2 weeks, but I just feel like there's no way it doesn't implode soon. Or the less I get to the stuff and I take the shot at the red corner specifically, I just feel like there's no
Hmm.
way this doesn't happen. This just feel like it's going to implode. Now I can see a world where they lose Drew, Kamu, Chuck, and then the rest of them are still close, and that's like the real power alliance for the
Chuck
rest of the house. But it's like I just feel like they have to at least have some type of explosion or infighting, and they can regroup after the infighting. We've seen that before, but there has to be something that happens. Like there's been so much build up, so much talking about it. Haley versus Chuck, Devins versus Angela, everyone versus Drew. Like there's the red corner versus Barrett. Like there's something's going to happen at some point.
um, I, it still exists, but I think Drew was like the starting of the end for that because this is what happens when you become steamrolling. Like you start looking at your own side because you feel like you, and this is how the other side typically usually wins dominating seasons like this because you win so much, you start to look at your own side like, do we really need you? We could afford to lose you. And I think that thinking of getting rid of Drew, and if the wrong person wins, which is the right person for us, I guess, if someone on the other side wins, I could see combinations of the icons, uh, hell, Haley, Kamu being put up, and then now you're forced to decide. So I do see. I agree with Drake's timeline. Maybe the next week, 2 weeks, we'll probably see.
My thought process on this is it's kind of like when you're throwing a rock. in the water and it bounces a little bit. You see like tiny little ripples. I feel like the moment Drew steps out of the house, if he is evicted this week, there's no coming back. Like
Yeah.
everyone seems to be on board. Oh my God, we're doing this together. We're doing this together. It is going to set the precedent where one by one, they're going to have to start to think, they're going to start to think actually, like, could that happen to me? Especially if Drew feels blindsided, especially if he leaves in a certain way that he says certain things. Like, I think if they let that man exit the house, which I would like to see, I don't think there's any coming back from it. And that's what's so interesting.
Also, this is a little side tangent, but Angela and Devin's talking how they're so worried. Oh, if Drew gets evicted, what is he going to say? What's he going to expose? He needs to leave. He better not do that. You need to leave with some class. The game's over. No, that's your fault for not managing that relationship well. If I get blindsided and I feel like blowing up your game, that's your fault because I blame you for it. Manage your relationship better. It's all social game. So, a little random side tangent. I think the worst fear though is like a Chuck HOH. So say if Drew even goes like a Chuck or a Kamo HOH, and it's like the
Yeah,
committee
you've
where like
been
the
on Chuck Neck this whole pod.
no, like it's like the like no, like I don't like Chuck, but I like Chuck more than Kamo and Haley. But it's like he's the most boring out of them, and I think a boring player would leave to like a boring HOH because he would probably just reaffirm the alliance. You would think like the committee in 22. We always talk about, oh, is this the week they're gonna blow up? Is this the week where something's gonna happen? Nope, Memphis won HOH. Nothing's gonna happen.
Mm.
Like there's like that's always a fear, and that should always be a fear. Someone in that top three wins HOH. I think anyone out like the below that, we can get interesting stuff. But that top three and probably D2, I think we would just get like a boring, straightforward week.
I like this. Shout out to RKK folks. I agree. I think if Drew goes, not only does it cause a ripple effect, but I also think specifically, and I'm Drew. Okay, Drew and Devins to me are the same coin, two sides of the same coin. They want to be showmen, right? Drew got so high off Julie talking about his hair in the DR. Like I haven't gone to explain that, but the fact that he was like, "Oh my God," and then he heard the audience's reaction, like he likes to be on camera. Clearly, by the amount of Jubilee videos, the amount of episodes of whatever he's been on, he likes to be a showman, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if you think that he is gonna get blindsided, blindly on eviction, and just smile and nod his head and walk out the door, if he does that, if I so help me God, I will petition to be on the player ranking and I'm giving him a fat zero. Like so help me God. Like genuinely. If he gets evicted and he doesn't do his big one, I am going to beg to get on the player rating just so I could
Yeah.
give him a zero.
I,
That's how sick I would be.
I think the only way he doesn't do his big one is if he's like actually crying. Like I think there's a rule where he gets like blindsided and unanimous vote, and he just like cries on the way out. Like I could see that as a rule. He's like he's just defeated because he keeps talking about how he doesn't want to go to this week. He's so disappointed. If they turn on him, he's either exposing everything, or he's just gonna be really sad, and they're probably gonna be like, "What the fuck did we do to this kid?" Like that's probably what they're gonna be thinking.
I really hope that he does his. Here's the thing. I want Drew to go so badly. Oh, I'm manifesting. And it's not because I'm standing lyric. It's because he is the sole person to actually be able to make these people turn against each other with information out loud. So I really hope that this man leaves. But I really want to address this question. Do you think Angela pushing Drew for a whole month made them start to think that they need to go against each other? Absolutely. I think they looked at Angela as the person with the most knowledge and wisdom going into the game, being that she's the only one who has played it before. Playing it is different than watching it. Playing Big Brother is different than Survivor, and 100%. And when Angela started to feed into going after Andrew, or not Andrew, sorry, Drew, and push him against them and her paranoia, I think she set the tone. And I think this is why they started to go against each other. So I 1,000% blame Angela. I think it's a horrible move because he actually like has never done anything against her. But to be honest, he is more loyal to other people in that alliance than her. So I don't think it's like the worst move, but I think it's not
I,
the best move either.
I think it's the worst move because he actively talked about bringing her to final three. It's like, oh,
Yeah, but he thinks he can beat her probably, which is like kind of dumb because to be honest, at this point in the game, she's played more of a better game than he
I
has.
I think part of it is the comps of it all. I think he would want to like take Angela and Devin's 3 and 4 because he those comps do be really physical. And like that's how I would think if I was like if I'm truly loyal to the crossovers, I would be more loyal to them than D because like if we get like a run 60 meters, I'd be like okay, I probably could do this more than D and Angela because they'd be unless they're not as physical. Hopefully they're not as physical. But last year Morgan was whooping everyone's ass because it was like a get in a cage and flip it 60,000 times. So
I mean, yes. So those are kind of the main alliances sides that I wanted to get into. But to end the episode off, I thought we should rank these people's social game, given that we've looked at the duos, we've looked at the trios, we've looked at Ayash's game, because I don't know, he's in the four person alliances in the sides of the house. So we have a tier list that we're going to use now, and we're going to rank the players. Give me a moment to just format that because I fear I'm not seeing it on my screen. Yes. Woo! Okay. So I just put S, B, C, D. So let's speed run this. Since we've kind of talked about everyone's game, you could give a sentence or two about why you would rank this person. So we're going and oh, unfortunately, the people who are evicted. So we will be skipping them.
I was so excited about talking about Ashley Trail's social game. I was so
Yeah,
excited.
she was gonna get last. I'm sorry. I know we love Mother. I know we love her. I know we love her. Whatever, whatever. But that social game was shit. And let's be real about that. Unfortunately. So let us. Thank God. Oh, I heard a little beep. Does that mean someone's in return? Hi D, welcome back. Welcome back. So let's start with Angela. What are we ranking her social game?
Yeah. Also, quick. Someone said no one's above a B. Above a B. In the grand scheme of things, my brother, they're probably not. But I'm gonna view it as just this season. This their influence in social game on this season.
Oh,
Dare I
that's
say?
D.
Dare I say? Angela's an S. Like she has so much influence. Like she's the main one pushing everything. I think she's an S or A because she has so much influence in the house.
Okay. What about you,
Uh,
D? What do you think, Angela?
I'm inclined to go with an S.
Okay. Chat, let us know what you think. I'm gonna give my explanation. I think she is not an S because she's not good on all fronts. She's in the better position. But I think there are people who would put her up. So I'm thinking A.
I
I'm
can
seeing
go
a few
A.
I can
S's.
I can live
I
with
can go
A
A.
because there are
I can
some
go
people.
A.
I just keep thinking she keeps getting her way. I get if Drew goes, this is all Drew. She was the main one who pushed for Rome. She was the main one who pushed for Jason. I'm like, she's pushing her agenda and she's getting through it. I don't see it staying as an S, like I said. I think at some point it's gonna blow up on her. But currently she has the most like influence or like guys like social game to me is influence. So
Okay, the chat is giving different answers. I'm seeing a lot of S's,
Seen a
A's.
decent amount of S's and A's. Somebody randomly said B.
I mean, I don't disagree to be honest. Okay. I think the conclusion. I think we'll put her.
There's a
I think
few.
I'm gonna
Let's just
just
go
have the
A.
executive vote. I think we're gonna put her in A
okay, that's
solely
fine.
because of the fact that there are people who are going against her potentially. I don't think she's covered on all of her bases in terms of being S tier, but I think she's in the best position. I think right now there's opposing forces between D and um Devon's. If Drew goes, I think she could be an S because she would have
Hmm.
gone her way every single week now, and especially against D and Devon's, who are a powerful voice and who have the same, if not a little bit more power than her. So we'll rank her S for now. Barrett, social game.
I think I would go C because it's not
I
like
was
D where
thinking C.
I think D is like you're actively playing terrible, and B and up is like you're actively doing stuff. Spirit is just not being active enough. Where I think he has to be C, where people do
Yeah.
like him. He could have influence, but he's not doing anything with it.
I'm gonna actually go D because I can't go against my rule. You can't be passive. So D.
Okay. I think he has the connections. I'll wait until chat gives us their answers. I think he has connections, but he does nothing with them and he doesn't maintain it. And his passiveness is difficult because if you looked at all of his connections, you could potentially argue B. I don't think he's good with red corner. I think they're willing to put him up. There was a point in time where they were pushing to put him up. But the fact that his connections aren't strong, I simply cannot put him in B. I'm seeing some D's here. I'm seeing some C's. I'm seeing more C's than D.
I think for
Uh,
I was
Who
thinking
did they
C
get
because
A?
there's specific people I have in mind for D, and it just wasn't Barrett.
okay, C for connections with zero activity. You know what? I like that. Hey, we'll put you in C. Chuck. To me, D. Like he has no connections, but Lyric, Haley, and Kamu. I think out of the rest of the red corner, they probably feel least connected to Chuck. Uh, I
Uh,
think I think Devon's likes potentially Kamu more than Chuck. Correct me if I'm
I
wrong.
I do think Kamu and Haley like him more than they like the other one at this point, but that might not be good enough to get out of D. So
I'm seeing some
Yeah,
Fs.
B.
Do I add the F tier?
I
if we
think he's
add
out of Chuck tier.
if we add the F tier, he should stay in D because there's one person who's an F, and she may
I
not
will
be
add an F for the plot
the
because
plot.
I'm a
Ooh.
woman of the people. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. Hey, 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 hey. I don't use this often.
He isn't.
Clearly.
Yeah, someone said NPC tier. Like, he's just an NPC. He adds nothing to substance. He just nods his head, goes along with the conversation. He's just there.
NPC tier is crazy. Oh, this is effective.
That
NPC tier is crazy. I don't know if I
is
could
crazy
put that.
work.
Oh Lord, y'all see me do the
Behind the
back, the
scenes.
behind the scenes, child. All right, we'll put Chuck in.
I'm
Oh, a
okay
lot
with
of F's.
I'm okay
You
with
know
that.
what? I'm a
He
woman of
has
the
no
people.
influence. He has no influence on anything.
He has to go in that for me, I fear. I'm a woman of the people and I agree. D, this is an interesting one. I personally am going to D is right now, I in my opinion, slightly below Angela in terms of getting her way, social influence, but she is probably the one who's pulling the most strings. To me, Angela has D's ear, and that's why she's slightly ahead. If D just did whatever the heck she want and didn't care about Angela's thoughts or feelings, she'd be above Angela. So I would have to put her in the A tier, probably behind Angela. Oh, I'm seeing
C
some B's already. Oh,
I agree with an A.
and C.
C.
Yeah,
ooh, this
I
is the
think her.
first time I'm seeing disagreements on all fronts.
I think we, not me, but I'm gonna say we as a general term, overblow her game. Um,
Oh,
because
okay.
she has continually done things that has not been good for her game because Angela has been able to sway her. That's why I was okay with putting Angela in S tier because Angela has gotten her way, whether it be planting the seed. Like if Drew goes home, this is another thing that she planted the seed from day one. To do we really need to trust Drew, X, Y, and Z? I feel like for D, yes, she's the power player, but to a certain extent because all the relationships that she has, if Angela says, let's get rid of this person, she's more inclined to do that, even if it's breaking a relationship like she's doing with Drew. Like she started to second guess Drew because Angela said it. She's starting to second guess Kamu because Angela said it. So like I'm going to see.
I was thinking Angela S then D A. So I think as Angela's an A, I think D would have to be B. 'Cause I think she is below Angela. Like I think I maybe like a whole. But I think what you're saying, but she still has so many connections in the game. Like Taylor and Lala like her. Mallory still likes her, but I don't know if she'll put her up. I think the only person who like actively doesn't like D is
But
maybe
she's about
Melody.
to. But she's got Drew and Lyric on the block.
Yeah, but I also think she has D is telling Lyric to tell the red corner that she would nominate D. Oh.
Oh, we're getting feeds news. Okay. Thanks for keeping us in the
Is
know.
is D plotting her downfall? Because like, why did she tell her to say this?
Literally just said, but go ahead.
I think we overvalue her relationship with Lyric. I don't think her relationship with Lyric is like real at all from either perspective. Like I haven't felt that way in a while. Like I felt that way
I don't
since.
know. D has invested a lot of social capital in Lyric, which is why
She has.
like I've had to keep them up as a duo. I think
But
Lyric
even
benefits from it, but I don't think D
but
does
like
that
I was
much.
reading like updates. Apparently during like the push for saving Drew, D was like, well, "We should just evict Lyric." She's like, "If we're saving Drew, evict Lyric," is like what D was saying. I think people. I don't. I just haven't like. She did use social capital week 2. But I think since then she hasn't really felt any type of way about Lyric. They don't talk a lot, which is weird. I thought like, coming into the season, I thought Lyric would be D's number 1, and it just hasn't
But
been.
if you're arguing that point, then that's another negative for her. If you want to argue that point,
That's why I would say like B. I don't think she's C because she still has so many connections. Chuck values her, Haley values her, Kama
but
values
okay,
her, Drew
but
and
if
Barrett
she's on the
values
block,
her.
is she going home or not?
Depends on who she's next to. She's next to either the icons. She's next to Devins. Devins goes
If she's in
next.
next to either icon, she's going home.
I don't know. I think next to her.
They view her as more of a threat than they do with
I
Angela, and a lot of people have better relationships with Devins than they do with D.
I think out of
Like
the
Devins is in so many alliances outside of that
yeah,
right side.
I would have her as the bottom of the 3 icons. But I think
I'm
Okay, so
gonna
she's
put
going home.
D. I am gonna put D. I'm making the decision now because of time.
yeah.
I'm putting D and B. I think I was okay with her being beside Angela and A, but I think in terms of everything that's been said so far, the chat, I think B is the middle ground here, and that is what I've decided. Next we're gonna go
Sound like
with Drew. Drew to me is in a
this one's
shit
hard.
position. He has to be below Barrett because
I
So D,
he's playing a worse game.
I
Low
think
key,
that
he's in a worse position socially. Like he
right?
has to be below Barrett automatically, whether it's C or D. Like that's the question.
I think it's does he have a case for F? I don't think he's actually done
Oh,
so much. I don't think he's
He's
actually done
not
so
with
much.
Chuck. Yeah, he's not with Chuck.
But I think when it comes to pure socially, I think he started off really good. Like when we had the first 2 weeks, he's probably like a B, maybe an A. But his word has been dragged through the mud so much where like nobody really trusts him except for like Melody and Mallory still. Like that's the only 2 people who like value his opinion. And I don't maybe D because I don't think it's like he actively like ruined
I
his own
think D.
game. But like it's like damn, like nobody fucks with him no more. And I don't know how much of it's his fault because definitely some of it is, but it's just like it's kind of how we tell about Jason, where it's like everyone kept dragging Jason, or Jason had his reputation as messy player, and now people keep dragging Drew behind the scenes. It's not like his stuff's being out there, so he can't even defend himself from the mess. Like no one has confronted Drew about anything that he's been accused of, so he hasn't been able to defend himself. Until he's able to defend himself, his social game is shit, and I don't think he can recover from it unless he like is able to defend it or win HOH and prove something different.
I think based off so I'm seeing a lot of F's, but I'm gonna bring this forward because I think this comment is the sole reason why to me he's not an F, which is
Yeah,
Melody and Mallory are still drinking his Kool-Aid. Nobody is drinking Chuck's Kool-Aid, not one bit. Drew
maybe
has
Haley.
influence. The issue is he done screwed his influence and put them in a bad position. But he technically didn't do anything to put himself like Angela is the reason why he's in this position, but he was loyal to his allies. He gave them the information. They didn't like how he delivered it, which is why he has to be ranked low. I think he's in a worse position than Barrett, but he still, in my opinion, holds a lot of power. I think if Barrett and Drew are on the block, there could be a world where they might prioritize Drew over Barrett, potentially, depending on a few things. So right now he's in a good position because he's not on the block. But I think Barrett's passivity is not the
Yeah,
best. But I think he's in a better position currently. So I think he should be D if we're being objective here.
like
But
I
I want
agree.
Drew to go home. So he should be in the evicted tier, but that's not,
Well,
that's
that's
not
next week
true.
for you.
Yeah, that's next
let's
week.
let's pray.
Hopefully,
Let's
I
manifest.
I think if Barrett like was not the worst ally of all time and like locked in with Drew post veto and made a plan for Drew to stay, I think they would be able to pull it off. Like I think
Yeah.
as much like I don't think Drew or Barrett like the greatest players of all time, but I think they've shown enough like fandom and like natural skill where I think they can do something.
At least, and you know what? At least he's doing something. I feel like he's done more. It's not necessarily positive than Chuck. So I know the audience was saying F, but I think the right thing to do would be to put him in D.
Hey, one of
Um,
these comments just killed me.
what's the comment?
Chuck is not drinking Chuck Kool-Aid.
Clock that T, clock that T, clock that T. All right. Uh I'm looking at the time, so we gotta be quick because there's a player ranking y'all need to get to after this. Haley.
Speaking of
See?
F,
Oh,
I
you want
think
her
So
an F?
hey. So
I think so.
hey.
She has a good relationship with Angela, but I don't know if she has influence over Angela. She has influence over
Yeah.
Chuck. That's it. That's the only person I think she has
So
active
then put
influence
her in
over.
D behind Drew.
But I think the difference between she has only influence over Chuck, but she actively pisses everyone off in this house. Like she actively makes everyone
Even Chuck.
so
Big day
mad.
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like I think
That is still iconic though.
she has to be F. It's like I can't think of a time when I was watching feeds a player who goes out of their way to make every single person in this house mad and then gets mad that people are mad.
What
I
is
think
this
I think
nickname
she's an
y'all
F.
calling her in the chat?
That's her last name, the fog.
Oh, oh,
I
what?
think I think we're
Okay.
in agreement here. I think she's F tier. I think she's above Chuck because she has influence over Chuck.
Yeah.
But and also when she said big day tomorrow, it was a Thursday night going into Friday. So F for Friday for big day tomorrow. Kamu, cha. I think we could speed run this. F.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are
Yeah, I
we
Let's
in
think
go ahead
that
and
agreement?
F.
last
Yeah,
week
let's
he
go
was
ahead and do
higher,
that F.
but post Tea Party he's an
But
F.
not by much.
He might be
Yeah.
below Chuck.
Oh,
Nah,
okay. Now hold on, hold on,
Who
hold on.
this week no one has
nah.
valued his opinion. No one's valued his opinion since Haley won HOH.
Okay, I'm not gonna sit up
Oh,
here on a pod
oh.
where we're not having Chuck as the worst position player in the game. I can't go for
Ooh, the public is saying
that.
D. They're
I
saying
I
D.
think we as a public have a misconception of what Kamu was last week. His game has completely tanked socially. No one values
Yeah.
him. No one respects him in his own lines. He is
Lyric
becoming
does.
Lyric. No, even at the bat, when he told Lyric, "You might be going to the block," she went to the office and said, "Why did he not give me a warning? What the fuck is that? I thought we were working together. I don't like Kamu now." Like he's even tanked his relationship with Lyric to the point where maybe evicting Lyric is good for him. The only person who likes him is Drew, and he's getting Drew evicted. He's
But
one
he
of the
can't.
main.
I mean, Chuck is the worst. He can't be behind Chuck. He can't.
Ooh, I'm
Even
seeing a
Taylor
few
likes him a little bit.
things. And okay,
I'm seeing a lot
but
of D's.
Kamu has Yash and Taylor.
I don't
Okay,
know if he
Yeah.
has maybe Taylor. I don't know if he has Yosh. Like I don't. Yosh is
Okay,
like
that's
I don't
more
know
than
who
what Chuck has.
over
So
Chuck
D.
though.
we could do.
Potentially, Kamu does have Yash over Chuck.
We could do. We could do D or F for comment. Maybe I'll be
Yeah,
too
just
harsh
do
for the
D
bottom
behind
F.
Drew. Yeah.
We could do that. I just like I think next week we'll get it here. I completely think his game is tanked this week.
Who do you think the littles are? And the game is not centered on the littles, but who do you think the littles are more likely to work with, Kamu or Haley? Because I think it's Kamu,
I think it's common.
I think it's Kamu as well as of right now. Yeah.
and so I fear he has to go
Yeah.
above Haley,
I guess
right?
he
Because
still does
he's
have a
working with the
decent.
icons.
He does still have
Yeah,
a
he's
decent
gotta
bond
go.
with Melody and
Yeah.
Mallory. So I'll give him
Behind
that.
Drew is the perfect spot, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
His positioning in this game is rough. I'm debating. Okay, the audience
He
said
went
D,
really far
so
down.
I'm gonna put it in D because the audience seems to be that way consecutively. Part of me wanted to put him in F, but I think that's the middle ground for everyone. Lala. Oof.
Unfortunately, F.
I wish it weren't true.
Like,
I
wouldn't it?
wish it weren't true.
Wouldn't it be
I
so
can't. I'm not
funny
gonna comment.
if we put her in S and never acknowledged it? So like when we post, like when people clip this, it's just like her in S and one never. Because she's F. She might be below Chuck because I don't think she has influence over Taylor.
Ooh, this is
Yeah.
sick and nasty and
She in the
twisted.
middle,
Because she
right?
could have gone
Between
home.
Haley and Chuck.
People would fight for Chuck more than people would fight for
Oh, they
Lala,
would.
and that's the issue.
Girl, don't even rate
Wow.
her.
They would though.
It's crazy.
I think she has to be
I
on F. I just think like
Who do you think Angela's more loyal to? I believe it's Haley over Lala, right? Even though that
yes.
seemed to be
Yeah,
her other
it is.
other line of
Yeah.
connection. I hate to say it. I really do. I
And
really do.
Oh
It,
man.
oh, I'm sorry, Queen. If this was a likability tier, I promise you, you would not be here, Queen. My orange highlighter. Love you.
I'm never going
All
over there.
right. Let's talk about lyric, cause, oh my god, the way
um
she tanked her game with the littles. The fact that people are actively trying to get her sent home this week, including Kamu, who had been advocating for her the entire week before. The fact that the D is backing her, yes. Devins is backing her, yes. Angela, I think, is less high on her. She's still in alliances. She has Yash, she has Kamu, she has Chuck to a degree. Um, I don't know. Where are we putting her?
High D, low C. That's where
I
I'm at.
I was thinking maybe top of D because she has a lot of cons where she's actually like influencing people like a Chuck
Yeah.
or a Kamu, a Yash a little bit. Even Melody and Mallory, I think they're mad at her, but I think she still would have influence over them if that group all stayed coming in the next week. But I also think the opposite end, she has people actively going after her because of her social game, because of how she talks and how like she's promising everyone safety, how she's throwing people under the bus. It's not because she's a threat to going after her, it's because of her social skills and like what she's been doing with them. So I think top of D makes sense to me.
I think the fact that people want to take out Drew before Lyric is why she's ahead of him. I think people are actively going against him. I think she has to be here. I think this is it. I know she got clocked badly, but people still need her. They want to keep her despite getting clocked. So that to me is higher than Drew in terms of social game. But one of them is going home. So we'll see, cha. Mallory. This one's
Okay.
difficult for me personally, but
Dare I say C? I don't know how much real influence she has. I feel like every time Marilee talks to someone in power, unless it's telling Drew he might be going home, they value what she says. And people generally like Mallory. Like even like she's people feel sympathetic for her. I don't know how much like true influence she has, but I think her right next to Barrett would make sense.
Yeah, just above Barrett though. Cause she got
you guys think
yeah.
above Barrett
I think
socially?
I think
above Barrett
below.
socially.
I think it's different. Barrett might have like the real influence, but he's inactive. I think Mallory is active, but doesn't have the real influence. Like doesn't
So
have like
can we isn't this a part of the social game?
Yeah, his
yeah.
influence. I think she's in I think she's in C behind Barrett because I do think she has people who advocate for her, but there's always those moments where they're like, "Oh, we should maybe get her out. We should
I,
maybe get her
Oh,
out."
Murray
So
Dude
I
is not low B. Uh-uh.
I think below Barrett because also a lot of the good work she did this week was we complained about Barrett not being active, but Barrett actually went up to her and said, "This is what's being said in the meeting. They don't like that lawyers throwing people under the bus. Don't throw anyone under the bus. Say this, this, and this to Haley." And she went up there and did it like that. He gave. We say she did good work this week, but the good work she did was what Barrett told her to do. So
How don't we know that she wasn't gonna do that anyways? And we're just grasping at straws to find something that Barrett said that helped his ally.
I don't think she was going to do it anyway because she never did it. She never talked to Haley until Barrett told her to, and I thought she
yeah,
might have not done it.
I guess behind Barrett. I don't know. I feel like okay.
I think Angela liking Mallory plays a big role in her safety because Barrett got no power, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of the whole house, I think the red corner is less likely to put up Barrett than they are Mallory, and that is a part of the house that I have to consider in terms of in between the two of them. I think if Mallory's side gets power, they're not putting up Barrett regardless. I think the icons they could flip on a dime, but it wouldn't literally make sense for them to prioritize
This
Mallory over Barrett. So she has to go behind him,
This
I
is a
fear.
book point. Why do they never want to target Marley? Dean Devils literally know she's after them and they don't want to evict her. I think it's because they just like her more than they like other people in the house, is what it comes down to. Is they just they fuck with her vibe.
Once
Which
again,
I
another point on why D. Never mind. I'm gonna use this as a player ranking. Never mind.
Yeah, you
All
already put it.
right. You got all the prep. Let's quickly do this because there is a player ranking. Melody. I think she is socially in a worse position than Mallory. I think they might target Mallory over Melody because she can win competitions.
Yeah.
But socially, I think they fuck with her less. The question is, do
Yeah.
they fuck with her
High
less
high
than
high D,
Drew,
right?
than Mallory, or than Lyric? Sorry, I think
I
they ooh, even Como,
She
but
might
I
be
think
behind Lyric actually.
I think she's easily behind Lyric. I think she's bottom of
Yeah.
D, unfortunately.
so do you bottom behind Kamu?
Yeah, because I think Melody strategically sound, but she has no influence over anyone but maybe Mallory. It's the only person she could ever have any influence over. And Mallory, I think, has more is more influenced by Barrett. So it's like she doesn't have full influence over her real number one ally. She's still like snowed by Drew. People just like don't like. I think she is good strategically, but no one takes what she says kind of serious, and she also pisses people off socially. The people she pisses off are the red corner though, but
Social game wise, I think Melody is definitely behind. Ay ay ay, this is difficult. The thing is, Melody is my queen and my princess. If I was going off of likability, she's
oh
S
yeah,
tier, I fear.
that's how I feel.
But socially, like everyone's putting her on the block except for Lyric Mallory. Like I genuinely everyone else is putting her on the block.
Melody's too real for them. And that's just what
Yeah,
it comes
Melody
down to.
Melody was on the wrong season.
Real.
She
I
was
think
legit
she
on the
has to
wrong
be in D
season.
tier. I think the fact that I see more people putting her up than Kamu. Actually, no, Barrett would put up Kamu. She's
E-
behind Drew, I think.
yeah,
I
I
think
think
she's behind Drew.
everyone in the red corner nominates her.
And you know what? This makes sense because the red corner socially they're shit, but they win competitions and that's why that's fine
Yeah,
and that's why they're still here. So this makes sense to me. Devins, Lord Drew, go ahead. Or Drew. I mean Devins, I mean he is in the best position. One of the better positions in the game. I think he has a good social game, but the fact that he is willing to um get rid of his relationships like a Rome, like a Drew this week, to me makes no sense. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a good social game. That means he doesn't have good strategy, and that's the
yeah.
difference. So
I think he would be had like an argument for S if he wasn't throwing away Drew, who Drew is diely loyal to him. So I think because he's losing, potentially will lose Drew this week. I think he has to be A below Angela.
okay, I think a few people trust him more. I think Calm trusts him more. Well, that's misogyny as well, but we move. I think Drew and Chuck trust Devins more. I don't know about Haley. Know Haley trusts Angela more, obviously. Uh does Lala trust Angela? I guess D is behind them. I think he might be B tier. I don't think he's in the same tier as Angela. The question is he above D or behind D?
I think
He's
he's above
above
D.
D.
All right. You said it in unison, so we'll do that. Taylor, Taylor,
C.
socially, Taylor. C.
Um,
Okay, I'm seeing C's.
I think C makes sense because I actually don't think she's bad socially. I just think she has this perception of Chelsea Bayham because like Chelsea Angela keeps saying it every
Sorry
day.
guys, my cat is going crazy. Hold on.
Oh, you're all good. Like, I don't think she's bad socially. I think she's picked it up activeness. Like that was my complaint for the first 2 weeks that she wasn't active, but she's been pretty active since she got nominated. I just think there's like this perception of that she's this threat or that she's like this great player that Angela keeps throwing around. So that kind of harms her.
Mm.
I don't know where in C, but I think she is C.
I think they like her personally. She just wasn't created and she wasn't in the alliances, but like the fact that she's able to have a relationship with Kamu, you know, Chuck has his whatever, but they somewhat have a rapport to a degree, not really. Yash has a relationship with her that I think they're being real and honest with each other. The Littles and her should connect a little bit more, but I think this week in conversations they've been able to connect. They had an alliance. Angela and Dee had an alliance with Taylor, the honor system. but they've done nothing for it, and they've gone out of their way to target her. So I think they keyed Taylor over Mallory. Um, and I think socially she might be in a better position. She's just more. She's not in a group, so I think she might be above Mallory.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think they like her,
Probably
but
that.
I don't know. I think we're gonna have to put her here. And finally, Yosh, socially, I
Dare
think
I
he's in a
say
better position socially.
dare I say bottom of B? Is that crazy? Like Yash Loki has everyone snows but Angela and D. Like Loki, everyone fully trusts him.
I think he might be B, y'all. I think Yosh socially is a B.
I think he's that or about. Do you not fucking with the Yash love? Do you know like he's fucking with the Yash love?
Is he dealing with the cat?
I think it's just Yash is weird because I think even like the first week we talked about how he was playing
What are you
dumb. He's
doing?
why is he even here? And I think we are kind of underestimating his game, like how the house is underestimating it. Where I think he's actually just playing good, and I think we gotta get to the point where we accept that Yash is playing good. Like I think people don't want to like him or don't want to root for him, but now it's like, hey, I think he's just good socially. Other than Angela and D kind of having him clocked, everyone fully trusts him.
I think we've come to a conclusion, y'all. Is he above D or is he below D?
I
I
would say
think
below D because
I think he's below D.
at the end of the day, a decision needs to be made. Angela Barrett, Angela D, and
Yosh
Devins
is a
all have
C.
to say yes. Like,
I think this is our social game ranking. This is not based off personal or gameplay in general. This is based solely on social game. This is our ranking. Guys, we're hitting almost 2 hours. So thank you for being here for this long. And if you want more Big Brother content, I can assure you we're gonna deliver. Um, there is so much going on today alone. We have the player ranking. I believe there was also the after show, if I'm not mistaken, where we spoke to or where Pharaoh spoke to America Inquiry. There's a live feed recaps every day, and there's something for everyone. Drake hosts something. D, are you on like something permanently, constantly
Yeah, I'm on a
for
live
Big Brother?
live feed on Fridays.
Live feed on Fridays. So you can get more of them if you want to on those days. And obviously, I'm here hosting the social network. Beyond that, we have Bracketology. Yes, Drake is in second. We been you. Whatever.
well,
Don't ask me about my placement.
I may feel down to
Don't
third.
ask me mine either.
Hallelujah. Third it is. Join the Discord. This picture is so outdated, y'all. We definitely have more than 300 members. So get into it.
Yeah,
There's
I think we're
always
almost
things
at a
going
thousand.
on.
yeah,
Oh,
it's deeper than we get new people
that's
every day.
insane. But there's so
Yeah,
much going on the Discord. We're getting the tea if you want to be a part of that. There's channels for everything and everyone. We have the Big Brother live feeds channel, which is constantly active. So if you are not watching the feeds but you want to get updated, that's a good place to go beyond your social media of choice. Beyond that, y'all vote. I casted my vote today. I know I've been telling y'all to vote, but I did cast and exercise my vote. And guess what I did? I voted for Who Done It. So if I could vote for two shows, I would have voted for Who Done It, or Total Drama Island, or Jersey Shore. Those are my big three. Okay.
I've heard for
Who Done It
Jersey
Sun,
Shore.
Total Drama, Rising, Jersey Shore, Moon. So get into it. Are you guys rooting for any show?
Who done
Jersey
it?
Shore.
Who done it's my number one. I also think like Flavor of Love. I'm like maybe it's been too
Flavor
long.
Love
We
is a
haven't covered
nice little
Flavor of
key.
Love yet, but I think Who
Yeah.
done
Mm-hmm.
Flavor of Love and Total Drama. I'm like I feel like it's about time one of them needs to get covered, especially if we're doing two. But Who Done It's my number one, and also I'm starting to come around like Welcome to Plathville would just be hilarious because what is that show? I've never heard of this. I kind
Because
of
who
want to watch.
suggested that? That's my question. Who said let's do that? Because I've never heard of it. So that was crazy. But cast your
Multiple
vote. It's
people
in the
had to
description.
suggest it too for it to make it too.
Oh, okay. So there's a few of you. You guys, we also have a Patreon. Look, it's the price of a cup of coffee. You can sacrifice one cup of coffee if you want to get on the Patreon.
Where?
There's so much going on. Starbucks coffee like $6. You can
Oh, I
sacrifice a
was
cup
like,
of
maybe they're
coffee.
in Canada. I was like, coffee like $10 now. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. A cup of coffee is
Yeah.
more than the Patreon, so y'all can sacrifice a cup of coffee. That's child's play change. I know in this economy
Mhm.
nothing is cheap, but obviously participate. There's so much good content going on there. With Pharaoh and Lee specifically, I know some of y'all miss the two of
Yeah.
them together, so you can get them there on the Patreon. Beyond Big Brother, we are doing other things, cha. I need to watch this Amazing Race so I could do that exit interview tomorrow morning. Okay. So watch our content. Me and Drake are both on Amazing Race Canada. You both did the sports update. I learned a lot about WWE as well. On like the other day, I was like, oh, Summer Slam or whatever it was called.
SummerSlam. Yep.
I learned someone named Naomi's hooking up with one of the Oso brothers or something. I didn't know that
Usos.
before I watched it. So
They're married.
watch their
They're
watch the
married
other
for
side.
like decades at this
Oh,
Yeah.
point.
Is it still hooking
they're
up and been
married.
married for 10 years?
They still hooking up, had a
Yeah, you
baby
see,
and
I
all
didn't know
that.
that. I thought they were
we
together. I didn't know they
we
were married.
we friends with benefit. It's called marriage to some people, but to me, it's still
So
friends.
yeah.
Into it.
Look.
So it's educational. You want to learn more about sports or WWE? Watch the podcast. It's there for you. I learned something.
Look.
There's so much going on and there's something for everyone and there's so much coming soon, so keep an eye out on that. But you guys, that was everything. Thank you for being with us. I can't wait to see you next week, but stay tuned for the other stuff we have going on, and I hope you guys have a great night. Bye.